Hello there and welcome to another tutorial. My name is Henry Bakshi, and this time we're going to be going over split view controllers in Swift on the iPhone. I know this sounds a bit weird, but with iPhone 6 Plus and 6S Plus, there's enough space to actually fit a split view controller in the area. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've created an app which uses split view controllers on the iPhone 6S Plus. So as you can see behind my face, I am mirroring my iPhone to my computer using QuickTime, and now if I make my face smaller and move it out of the way, we can see that this is the app that we're going to end up making. Actually, I'm going to be explaining to you. So as you can see, we have an actor selector on the side, but what does this actor selector really do? Well, actually, let me just do this. There. So now, let's just click on an actor like Tom Cruise, and then we get 3 movies he was in. Tom Kenny, 3 more movies. Matt Damon, 3 more movies. Angelina Jolie, and then 3 more movies, Will Smith, and also Brad Pitt. So now this app will very simply allow you to select an actor and show you 3 movies that he or she has been in. And now in order to program this, we actually need to use split view controllers, of course, since there's a UI table view on the side. Get my hand on the screen here. Okay. And then a detail view on the other side. And so in order to code this, we actually have to do a little bit math, not necessarily math, but as you can see in my code, I have added something extra, and this will help us determine some coordinates, which I will talk about later. Anyway, first of all, what we have to talk about is, let's just say that I come over here, and you won't need to do this, I'm just doing this so that you understand this. So let's just move this over here. Okay, so now let's just say you start developing an app. And this is your initial view controller that you start off with. Now, how do we convert this into a split view controller? In order to do that, simply all we need to do is delete this view. Actually, let me just make sure I haven't done anything wrong here. Okay, so now you just type in the word split in your objects library. Take the split view controller, drag it on, click on one of the views. And just a second, maybe it'll, okay. Then set the size to your iPhone size, which in my case is the Plus, so 5.5 inch. Okay, continuing. Actually, don't set that one. Set this one to your iPhone size. And then all of them should change to that size. Perfect. Okay, continuing. After that, what you want to do is click on this view controller and check mark is initial view controller. Then what you want to do is create 2 new files, list.swift and detail.swift. In detail.swift, you need to type in the code var. First of all, this will be a global variable, so import UIKit, then var curList, meaning current list, is equal to list. Now, I know you haven't created a class called list yet, and so it'll give you an error, but just don't worry yet. Just type in the code, and I'll explain later. Then create a new class called detail, which will be inheriting from UI view controller. Then create 3 label IB outlets: label 1, label 2, and label 3. In view.did_load, set curDetail to self. Now you haven't defined curDetail yet, but don't worry, you will be in just a second. And so what this will do is it will set the current detail variable to ourself. Then create a new function called touchesBegan, and in it, once you click, print self.view.frame.size.width. That's a mouthful, but what it's going to do is it's going to tell us what the width is of this view in the split view controller. This is temporary code that we require only for the time being just to set up our app. Okay, then in your list.zip file, first of all, actually, I don't need this anymore. Okay. First of all, import UIKit, of course. Data. Okay. So now, what you want to do is say, create a new global variable of our cur detail is equal to a new detail. So now things are starting to take shape. Your cur detail error that was in the other file will now be fixed. Then create a new class called list, which is inheriting from not UIViewController, but UITableViewController. Then create a variable called newData and give it all of this data, which is the actors and the movies that they star in. And then in the view.load, set cur list to self. Then put in create two new table view functions. The first one, number of rows in section, and I'm just going to return the data arrays count that we just defined here. Okay, continuing. After that, in the table view cell_row index path function, we just create a new cell, set the count variable to 0, loop through new data, which is a dictionary, so it will automatically be enumerated, index and value, but we don't need value, only index, because that's the actor's name, which is what we need for the list. So index and underscore. The underscore will be taken as nothing by Swift, so we won't have a val. Then what we want to do is check if the count is equal to indexPath.row. But you're saying this is always 0. How can it be equal to the indexPath.row? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, we just need to understand that if it is, set the cell's text label's text to the index that we're currently on, meaning the actor we're currently on, and then break this for loop. However, if we didn't execute that, we're going to ++ count by 1, meaning increment it by 1, and then it will continue this loop until we find one actor which is equal to the indexPath.row, so it's put into the cell. And then we return the cell to be put onto the SplitViewController like this. Then we want to have one more table view function, but that's weird. Why is there another table view function? Well, this is because we actually want to handle what happens whenever we select something on the table view. So what we do is, once something is selected on the table view, we get the cell that was selected by doing var cell is equal to tableview.cell for row at index path, and the index path of which cell was selected. Then we set cur details label 1's text to new data, specifically the actor that was clicked by doing cell.textLabel.text, so that's the actor that was clicked from the new data. We're forcing that as an unwrap, and we're getting the 0th value, meaning the first value. Now you understand why we created the cur list and cur detail variables, because from the list, we want to be able to inject values into the detail so that, because instead of having the detail view doing everything, we have the list making the detail view doing everything. And then we do the same thing for label 2 and label 3, except we get the second element and then the third element, of course. Then all we need to do is go back to our main.storyboard, click on our detail view, move my face over here, and then after moving my face, you just click on this little, I think this, what's this called? Identity inspector. I think that's supposed to be like a, whatever. Why do I care? Anyway, click on custom class, actually go under custom class and click on this little blank text view here beside the class label and type in detail and then click enter, but I'm not going to do that. Then click on your list and in the class type list, but I'm again not going to do that because I already have. Once you're done, you should have view like this. A view here, a view here, a view here, a view here. Then you can also double click on this little pane here and change the title of the list, but I just named it Actor Selector. But wait, how did I get this view to be this small? Well, I'll show you. First of all, let's just run the app on my phone. Actually, this is going to give us an error because I forgot to click a button. Okay, there. Now it won't. So all you need to do, run the app. Now remember the touches began temporary code that we added in? That's coming in use now. Just click anywhere in this blank area. I'll actually show you that I'm clicking in this blank area. As you can see here, on my phone, I'm clicking in this blank area. I'm clicking in the blank area. And apparently, we printed out the width of our view. And so our width is 440, 440. So what you need to do is, let's just say that this is the detail view. This is the view which you set the class for. All you need to do, click on it so there's a blue boundary around it. Click on the Attributes Inspector, set the orientation to landscape, and set the size to freeform. Actually set it to iPhone 5.5 inch. Then go to Ruler, click on the simulated size, click on freeform. Then set the width to 440. And you're done. That was simple. The reason we're doing this is, let's say you keep the normal width and the normal height. Let's say you center something on the actual view. Then it's going to appear here because you centered it on this entire plane, not just this much. So when you center it in this much, it's going to actually appear in the center of this detailed view. And that's exactly why we're changing the size of the view. Anyway, after that, what you want to do, well, anyway, who cares? After that, what you want to do is, once you've done all of that, you've changed the width and everything, go into your view and create 3 labels. Now you can make any size, any color, anything, doesn't matter, just 3 labels. Then connect the label 1, label 2, and label 3 IB outlets to these labels. It's that simple. Once you run the app, you should see this pop up. And it worked. As you can see, there are 7 actors now. Actually, I found out why there were only 6 last time, so Leonardo DiCaprio got left out, but now he's back as well. And so that's going to be it for this tutorial. As you can see, this time we created an actor selector using SplitViewControllers. Again, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but Von Clement, who has actually quite a few courses online and a few videos and lots of apps online as well, had actually sent me this question originally, how do I use SplitViewControllers in Swift? He wanted to use it with an iPad, but since iPhones and iPhone 6s Pluses and iPads are pretty much the same if you put them in landscape now, I just decided to do this for iPhone since I didn't really have an iPad to test this on. Actually, I do have an iPad mini, but then it's just too much to work on because the UI is a bit too big to work on a smaller screen. But that's going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like on this video. And if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below, and I will almost surely get back to you. You can also email me at tadgyman@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, app ideas, concerns, or even more comments. You can also email me a video question of you saying a question, and I may just feature it in one of my next videos. It can be on anything from computing to science to algorithms to math, everything. And also, consider subscribing to my channel if you like my content and you want to see more of it, or if you're just plain new to the channel. It would help me out. And also, consider following me on Twitter. At tadgyman. Again, all my email and my Twitter and everything will be in the description. The source code for this will also be in the description. And that's going to be it. Goodbye.